Team Keep It Clean, be straight up with me. Is there anybody who thought that the Baltimore Ravens would be re-signing Ben Cleveland? After all of the John Harbaugh, Ben Cleveland beef, who knows where it even started from, but we know that thing went on for a long time. For Ben Cleveland, who never really got the opportunity to be that starting left guard Ben Cleveland, to Ben Cleveland who just, again, him and Harbaugh, they will go back and forth. Again, I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it couldn't be just a conditioning test. That couldn't be it. Ain't no way, man. I don't know what it was. But Ben Cleveland, with everything that he went through this offseason alone, I was just like, nah, Ravens are done. The way that his career went in Baltimore, they done with Ben Cleveland. And I did expect him to get an opportunity elsewhere, just not with the Baltimore Ravens. But here we are. And we're going to talk about it. Team, keep it clean. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on and leave a like on the video because it helps out a ton. I appreciate y'all. And I know Ben Cleveland, he must really appreciate the Baltimore Ravens. What I was thinking when I first got that notification, I looked at my phone and said, what? I was like, what? Is this a typo? The Ravens actually re-signed Ben Cleveland. And it made me wonder because this was just me, what I was thinking. With the timing of it, because just the previous day, the previous night, late night, it was announced that the Chargers, they signed Mekhi Becton to a 2-year, $20 million deal. So he only got $10 million per. He ain't getting no crazy money, anything like that. But anyway, then the following day, we get the Baltimore Ravens re-sign Ben Cleveland, a guard. The Chargers signed a guard. So then the Ravens signed their guard back. And this was just me. Let me know if any of y'all thought the same thing. But I was thinking, I ain't heard nothing, don't know nothing. Y'all know we ain't plugged in or nothing like that. We ain't got no sources, no connects, none of that. But I was thinking, I wonder if the Baltimore Ravens maybe reached out to Mekhi Becton just to see, just to be like, hey, what's up? Just to see, and obviously, like, oh, y'all ain't paying me what Chargers pay. I'm going to L.A. I'm going to Ravens West. And maybe he made his decision, and the Ravens were like, all right, that fell through. You know what? Let's bring Ben Cleveland back. Now, this move could mean a couple of different things for the Baltimore Ravens. This could mean, one, that Ben Cleveland may actually have a shot at not only making the roster, but being a starter. It could put him at the left guard competition with Andrew Voorhees and whatever draft pick they pick up, whatever veteran they may pick up. Now they got Ben Cleveland, so they might not pick up a veteran because he's a veteran. So we'll see what happens with that. This could also mean the Ravens they could be using him as sort of a placeholder. Like, all right, if all else fails, then we'll keep Ben Cleveland around. And as bad as that sounds, that's the business in the NFL. It happens every single year with every single team. There are players that teams will bring on as sort of backup options. Like, all right, if all else fails, if we don't get that draft pick, if we aren't able to sign this player, all right, we'll fall back on this player. Or if we can draft that player, if we can sign that player, then we'll let this guy go because we won't really need him. So it could be something like that. But I'm just very curious to see what type of shot Ben Cleveland gets. I'm very curious to see what type of deal Ben Cleveland gets. Because this is a move that came like way out of left field. So, but hey, Ben Cleveland is back. The Baltimore Ravens, they got him. And we'll see what happens from here. So now we reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. Y'all make these videos what they are. It's all about y'all. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Team, keep it clean. Y'all are the best. I appreciate y'all supporting literally every single day like crazy. So thank you for that. Now, if you want to be a part of these questions, have your questions featured in the video, all you got to do is send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Or if you're a Team Keep It Clean patron, you can send your question in a DM directly on Patreon. And if you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Let's get into this first question that came from my guy, Griffins. He said, hey, Ingraven. Hey, Griff. Thank you for the advice. Ever since then, I finally got a job and got an acceptance letter to Cordonia University in Texas. Life does have its ups and downs. Hey, everybody just put in the comments, congrats, Griff, because he has sent in a question maybe about a week and a half ago, said that he was just going through a lot of rejection on a lot of different areas in his life. And it just, we've all been there in one way of shape or form or whatever. But when you facing rejection from a lot of different areas, it's frustrating, obviously. But we told him, ain't nothing crazy. We ain't telling nothing crazy. We ain't no like, oh yeah, we got all the best advice. No, not at all. But just told him like, hey, just keep going, because when you go through stuff, that's part of life, man. You're gonna go through stuff, but then when you look back on it, you're like, oh man, like I got through it. I got through that. So shout out to you, man. We all happy for you, man. So everybody, again, congrats, Griff, in the comment section. Much love to you, my guy. He said, back to business though. I think we should trade Mark Andrews to the Bucks and Baker Mayfield. Ooh, that's an interesting one right there. They will be to the NFC. It will be to his old quarterback. Oh, I did not think about that. That is a good one right there. And he get to play in Florida. Oh, I like that one. He said, we are putting Mark Andrews in a good situation with a good quarterback he used to play with. We will get the Bucks first round pick. That part, all right. That's you lost me on that part. Ravens are not getting no first round pick for Mark Andrews. Absolutely no way. There's no way Ravens get a first round pick for Mark Andrews. He's a baller. Mark Andrews is a beast, a nice tight end. First round pick though, no, they ain't getting that. The only way they will be able to get a first round pick is if they sent some other people of significance with Mark Andrews to the Bucks or to whoever, but they ain't getting no first round pick for him. Anyway, he said, remember the last time we had 2 first round picks? We got Hamilton and the best center in the league. Oh yeah, that's fun times. Fun times. They definitely upgraded the team with that one. He said, what do you think about this? I think it is the smartest thing to do if the Bucks agree. I really just want Mark Andrews to go far, far away from our division, but also set him up for success and set us up good in the draft. He said, look, Mark, you got to go. But, hey, I wish you well, though. But, no. I do think Mark Andrews is going to get traded. Again, we'll see before the 20th. We'll know officially. But I don't see us getting no first round pick for him, but I do think the Bucks will be a great situation. Next question came from LaMarion. He said, weight room for Nate Wiggins? Okay. He said, hey, Greg, I hope you see this. But since the Steelers have gotten DK Metcalf and George Pickens, a lot of people do not believe in our secondary, mainly because of Nate Wiggins' weight. Nate Wiggins is a smaller cornerback. He got a smaller frame. He can keep up with him, but I know a lot of people looked at him like physicality would be an issue, but something that we saw from Nate Wiggins last year alone, that boy, he ain't afraid to tackle anybody. Just because he got a smaller frame, he ain't scary. So shout out to Nate Wiggins. Now, when you pressing, especially a corner like a DK Metcalf, even though he don't play up to his size all the time. Sometimes he doesn't. Or you going against a George Pickens. Because even Marlon Humphrey, he struggled with George Pickens. Marlon Humphrey's strong, man. But, yeah, when you pressing those those wide receivers like that, then, hey, that could give you some fits. But you just got to play it right. You got to play it right. Like, it's funny, I was practicing football with my son the other day. And he ain't really had no interest in football like that. He ain't really care about it. But recently, he's been a little bit more interested in it. So we just telling him what routes are and stuff. We just throwing the ball and whatnot, teaching him how to throw and all that. But then we were playing with some of his other friends, and we were showing him how to play cornerback. He was like, look, when you right in front of the receiver, you could push him. You could push him to throw him off their route and whatnot, but you got to stick with him. Now, I said, if it's somebody that's a little faster than you now, then you got to back up. You gotta back up, give them some space, because you don't want them to get behind you. Because if they get behind you, that's it. If they go past you, that's a wrap. But anyway, I just feeling like a little coach and whatnot. But anyway, with Nate Wiggins, with his size, he could just play it a certain way. He could play different receivers a certain way, like any cornerback, of course, does to compensate. But anyway, he said, me personally, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, and Marlon know what their challenge is, but I still believe in Nate Wiggins. I may be biased, but one day Nate will be cornerback 1. Probably, yeah, first round pick. Ravens got high expectations for him. So, yeah, and Marlon Humphrey, he knows the game too. So, yeah, and he let us know already. So, he said, let me know what you think about this. Hope you and the family are doing great. And just like every team we play next year, I'm out. Hey, as long as Ravens don't play themselves. I know we all looking for even more ways to keep it clean, right? Well, let me introduce you to Mando. Mando is a whole body deodorant literally for everywhere. Your neck, your back, your armpits, your legs, your feet, and anywhere where the sun don't shine. We said everywhere, right? Because unfortunately, body odor doesn't just stay in one place. But fortunately, Mando doesn't either, because it's for everywhere. Here's Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. It's clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours. And it comes in 3 cologne quality scents. Mount Fuji is fresh and woodsy, Bourbon Leather is sweet and sophisticated, and Pro Sport is clean and citrusy. Now here's my personal favorite from Mando, their Bourbon Leather body wash. Every time I use it, it got me feeling like a brand new man. And then it keeps me smelling really good too, so that's a nice bonus. Mando's whole body deodorant is powerful enough for the toughest body odor, but gentle enough to use everywhere, allowing you to put Mando on those special somewheres without any worry, because Mando is aluminum free, baking soda free, cruelty free, dye free, and it's vegan. But how can you get your hands on it? Well, I'm getting ready to tell you. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. My choices ended up being the deodorant wipes, and my personal favorite again, the body wash. And another bonus, you get free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code INGRAVEN at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Next question came from my guy Chaz. He said, "Yo, Ingraven, thanks for looking out for me on a scammer on TD Bear's YouTube channel." Oh man, yo, my guy. The backstory behind that, he sent me a DM on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Oh, is this real?" Because he was on my guy TD Bear's channel, and you know how YouTube got a lot of bots on there. It's so annoying and so frustrating, and it's just like, man, how could y'all have anyway? The one of the bots was a Telegram bot. It said TD Bear Telegram, so it was fake. It was not really TD Bear, but it was asking for like personal information and stuff. And he sent me a screenshot of it. He's like, "Is this real?" I said, No, it ain't real. Don't give that bot nothing, like nothing. So he obviously didn't, so that's good. Whew, so I'm happy for you. He said it just shows you care about your channel members and people in general, so for that, I thank you. No, you ain't got to thank me for nothing, man. You ain't got to thank me for nothing. Like that, yeah. Anyway, he said, so now that the Combine has concluded, what do you think about Jimmy Horn Jr.? He that deal, right? Let me know what you're thinking. Just like that scammer when they realized they couldn't get me, I'm out. Jimmy Horn Jr., he would fit the profile of a typical normal Ravens wide receiver, because he's 5'10", but he got some good speed to him now. He got some good speed, good hands. I feel like it's lazy to say that he reminds me of Zay Flowers. It's just the size, the speed. He's not nearly as shifty as Zay Flowers, but he's quick. So if the Ravens were to get him, what would his role be? I'm wondering what his role could possibly be with the Baltimore Ravens, because you got to think about that. Obviously, you could say, oh, he could have a role in the future. He could, because the Ravens' future at wide receiver after this year, we back to where we are right now, because Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers, they'll be under contract after this year, but DeAndre Hopkins, no. Tylan Wallace, no. And you'll still have Tez Walker, too. So, and Anthony Miller, no. So you'll be right back to where you at wide receiver. But that is unless they do draft somebody. But when you think about the draft, you got to think about the here and the now. I don't know what round Jimmy Horn Jr. is expected to be drafted in, but that's something to take in consideration too. Because if he was supposed to be like a second, third round pick, and I wonder if the Baltimore Ravens would be willing to invest that higher draft capital into him, knowing that, again, you got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins. Those are your 3 receivers off rip. And then DeAndre Hopkins, even with that, he'll get a limited amount of snaps, especially because you got Isaiah Likely with Andrews. Again, we'll see. And then you still got a strong running game with Derrick Henry. And then there's Justice Hill as well. So it's just would be a lot in front of him. So would you be willing to I can't say sacrifice a draft pick, because it's not a sacrifice of a draft pick. But would you be willing to give up a draft or use a draft pick? Not even give up. Would you be willing to use a draft pick that high on somebody who wouldn't be contributing right here, right now? Oh, you know what? One way he could possibly, I'm not sure if he did this in Colorado or not, but can he be a punt returner? Next question came from my guy Trey. Now, he did send this on February 22nd, so way before free agency started, so keep that in mind. Now, he said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, Trey? He said, hope you and your family are doing great. I had a question regarding a prospect in this upcoming draft. I watched a video last month on a wide receiver named Savion Williams from TCU, and I was going to send in this question last month, but after what the Ravens did, I couldn't get the strength to talk about the draft already. Yeah, so he was hurting from that game against the Bills like we all were, which I completely understand. Anyway, he said, now that the season is over for everyone and the Chiefs lost, he said, I have my energy back. Savion is listed at 6'5", 225. It's a 5 to 6 minute video on YouTube if you ever want to check him out. He has good speed and strength, and in my opinion, he's a 6'5" Deebo Samuel. That's a cheat code. That's a glitch right there. That's a glitch. For somebody to be 6'5" and to have good body control, because obviously, like it's the smaller receivers that are usually a lot more shifty, a lot more agile, whatnot, because they more low to the ground. Their cuts, they got shorter legs and whatnot, so they the ones that's usually a lot more quicker and a lot more shifty. But to be 6'5" and be able to move like that's glitchy. It's very glitchy. That's not fair. So anyway, he said his routes to me aren't crispy, but his thing is he gets carries along with catches. 51 carries for 322 yards and 6 touchdowns to go with 60 catches for 611 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is a Deebo Samuel. Having him get carries and catches. Oh yeah, that is the excellent comparison right there. He said, I don't think he's projected to go first round, which is why I brought him up. If the Ravens draft a receiver this year, what round do you think it'll be done in? He said, I view Savion as a round 3 wide receiver, and I think him and Tez Walker can fight for that wide receiver 3 spot. Again, this was before DeAndre Hopkins, so obviously that's Hopkins to not to lose. That's Hopkins' spot. That's it. Not to lose anything like that. He said, I think him and Tez Walker can fight for the wide receiver 3 spot while also giving him a few carries. And just like the Ravens, every season in the middle of January, I'm out. That was tough. And again, now with this one, him being 6'5", I know you can't just fall in love with height. You can't just fall in love with the profile, because that's only half the battle. Does he play up to 6'5"? Does he play like a 6'5" wide receiver? Just what he can do, just being able to again catch and carry, so a little bit of everything. Then you can really be getting some value with him, especially if you would use him early and often. I say you're gonna be the featured wide receiver, a featured running back, anything like that, but he could throw some wrinkles into your offense, and he could really shake some stuff up. So if the Baltimore Ravens were willing to do that, I wouldn't be mad at that. I really wouldn't be mad at that. Now again, like the previous question when we talked about, if it's a second round pick, I don't think they're doing that, because wide receiver is not necessarily, I mean, you can't put a draft pick on them. They always say, oh, best player available, even though that's not the full truth in my opinion. But a second round pick at wide receiver, no. Ravens, I don't think they would do that this year. They not. A third round pick at wide receiver, I don't think they would do that. Fourth round, I could see them maybe doing that. Fourth round and lower. But again, it all just depends on how the board shakes out. But with Savion Williams, I just envision like, man, how would the Ravens use him? What would they do? Because it would have to be better than how they use Devin Duvernay, because you think about somebody that can do these multiple things, which is really, really nice. I just think about, because I remember with Devin Duvernay, whenever he would be on the field, hey, here comes a jet sweep. Whenever he would go in motion, jet sweep on the way. And the jet sweep would come. And that's why we call him the jet sweep king. Shout out to Duve, man. I wonder where he's going to go now since the Jaguars cut him. With Zay Flowers. There's another. Zay Flowers be in motion like every single play, so that wasn't a giveaway. But with Zay Flowers, a lot of stuff could be predictable, because they used to throw like a million screens to him. They stopped at the end of last year. I guess they realized like, people really catching up on these screens. So with Savion Williams, I would wonder how they would use him. But again, that would be a good problem for Todd Monken and them to have and to be able to figure out.